Sushant Singh Rajput's untimely death by suicide has really opened that Pandora's box as far as Bollywood is concerned. You know,
Hmm.
nepotism, favoritism.
Hmm.
You know, soon after, Sonu Nigam also took to social media, you know, alleging favoritism in the music industry and alleging that there was a music mafia in place. Do you
Yeah.
agree with Sonu on that count?
I don't like reductive conversations, which is about agree, disagree. I'm just saying, let's be very honest about this to start with. India is a nepotistic society. We are all unable to see beyond family on most matters. And when I'm saying we, I'm not talking about me. I am conscious of such matters. So, and while it's not illegal, I believe that people who support nepotism and favoritism are digging their own graves, you know, because I, for one, have always advocated for a thriving music scene independent of films, and every part of
Hmm.
the world has a pop scene except for us. 1.3 billion as a country, and we don't have an independent music scene. How that should disturb all of us. So
Right.
I think that is a bigger issue than what a few narrow minded patriarchs are up to. And these are, okay, let me call them narrow minded megalomaniacs. They are running their petty fiefdoms. And I don't see T Series any different from the other music labels, to be honest. Indian or foreign labels, it's Indian who become the CEOs or lead them, whether they own the company or not, they all end up reflecting what they are trained to do. As in, it's a desi phenomenon, this whole apne bhai bhanje behan beti, beta most importantly, because beti is coming to that scene very. And you know what, Aditi, what is also sad is when you say the nepotism in the music industry, it comes down to what is the music industry? Mainstream music industry is the film music industry. And should that be the case in a country like ours, where we have so many genres? We have classical music, ghazals, folk music, regional music, and why aren't we talking about this wit that we have? And why does it all come down? And it is so reductive. It comes down to the film music. The film industry is a certain way. Obviously, it extends itself to even the music industry when you talk about the
Right.
music industry in the way it is. And the film industry is run in a sense by those 6 7 odd families. And the way they run is a reflection of how India is to start with, and it spills into
Hmm.
all spheres. I have these very specific questions to ask instead of this general big stuff. You have music award nights, right? We have had Jima, we've had Mirchi Music Award nights, and some of them have musicians hosting it. I went to this music award nights few years ago. I've stopped attending all those award nights, and there I see a Sonakshi Sinha who was struggling with reading a teleprompter. She's not a musician. She's an actor who should be very adept at learning her dialogues, or she should have at least read the teleprompter before coming. And we all are sitting through a music awards night for 6 hours when it should have gotten over in 2 hours because she hasn't prepared. And I kept thinking, why is it that the audience is okay with this mediocrity? Why is it that the event company hasn't seen, for example, I mean, I look good, I talk, I'm confident, I hold an audience. I can, even if my teleprompter went off, I could, hold an audience's attention. But we have normalized the fact that we don't care for merit and all of this, like a Coldplay, an international huge band. And I saw a lot of articles that Hindustan Times have covered, the sterling lineup for the Coldplay's opening act. What is the lineup before Coldplay, which is an internationally renowned musical band, comes up? Katrina Kaif, Ranveer Singh, Alia Bhatt, Varun, Farhan Akhtar, Sonakshi Sinha, Shraddha Kapoor, and A.R. Rahman, like one exception. Why is it that the media was okay with calling that a sterling lineup? Why is it that the audience is okay with saying, why are film actors miming an act before a actual live band? What kind of culture are we showing to the world, that we don't have live bands worthy, we don't have great musicians who are worthy taking on stage? So there is something messed up in the whole culture of the entertainment industry, where it normalizes such things. And if we don't have that sense of pride where we want to question this at a basic level, when a Dua Lipa or a Katy Perry comes down, what does the whole PR story do? It's like star kids partying with them. Doesn't that trouble us? Is that the news that we want to put out, that a country like ours, musicians of international repute are not meeting up with musicians in our country? For some reason, they
Right.
want to take selfies with, I don't know, Humanania Pandey or Janvi Kapoor or whoever was invited to the parties, and that's going all around. And in a sense, it's one thing to say that Bollywood is Bollywood. I think all of us right now should hold a end of this responsibility of saying we need to question things at a very basic level. When we see these mime acts on these television award shows and your reality TV shows, Aditi, none of those music TV reality shows are working. No TRPs are coming in. I was part of Saregama and I know they were struggling. They got Shah Rukh, they got this, they got the best of actors, promoting the films there. The TRPs just won't go up because the audience also somewhere was telling them, where is the music? Where is the craft? Where is all of this? But what do we do next? The next TV reality show, we bring it again, make it into a film promotion.
Absolutely.
So somewhere I think it's a much bigger story than whether I agree or disagree with Sonu Nigam. He said some valid things in that video of his. He said some valid things in the past also, and I support that. But I also find it, when it comes down to this tutu meme personal kind of threats, and I just feel that's something I can't stand for. How will that help the community unless we have a larger discussion? And veterans of an industry, I just believe have to think through before they speak, because you are affecting a whole country in the grace that you exude, in the larger point that you should make. And there were some very valid points that he was making. At the same time, for me, I just got put off saying, why would you use a Me Too video as some kind of a, like a blackmail medium? It just seems unsavory to me. It seems disturbing that you would do that. And then the whole point gets lost when actually there's a valid point that the music industry needs to relook at itself. But I don't think it is just about just Bhushan Kumar or only T-Series. I think even the music streaming platforms that have come in a big way right now can play such a big role if they have a space for independent musicians, and not just make it around those people who have the clicks and the might to put out their music and promote it and put it on the cover page, be it a YouTube or anywhere else. You have radio stations which are under a lot of stress because they have to pay this crazy big license fee, when radio everywhere is a very cheap medium around the world. Here the government makes it so difficult that they end up just playing it very safe, because they have to pay such huge license fees to the government that they can't take chances. They can't promote any genre or any artist outside of those 20 remixes that are coming out and which are being promoted and paid for. So
right,
I don't know, unless we start by acknowledging that music is one of the primary art forms that needs to be preserved and encouraged and funded, and it needs champions and advocacy, be it the media, be it philanthropists, Aditi, around the world. Operas and philharmonic orchestras and all kinds of other music are backed by philanthropists. Here we have film music which needs to deliver, that immediate box office return of selling a film. Corporates here have big, huge CSR funds, and God knows what most of them do with it. Why can't corporates be expected to extend these CSR funds to arts and culture? Why can't, why isn't it's everybody's thing to do? And okay, the other thing I discovered yesterday, which is kind of hilarious, I was like, do we even have a arts and cultural ministry? There's a ministry, right? What is it that?
Yes.
Oh, I discovered that the cultural ministry is always, for some reason, linked up with the tourism ministry. It's culture and tourism. Who has heard of the culture and tourism ministry? How many of us know who the minister is? Around the world right now, the moment COVID struck, from UK to everywhere else, the culture minister stood up saying the artists are going to go through a big time. They're the custodians of any civilization, so we need to back them, because we have not only filmy musicians, those top 20 who made enough money. I've made enough money too, so I'm not some lachar musician, let me say. But when I went down the Twitter timeline of the culture ministry, I see they're planting trees in the Humayun tomb in the last few months, and I was like, isn't that the environmental ministry's job? Why is the culture ministry planting trees? And yoga, is that the only culture? Where's music? What about the music? What are we doing for the music?